Hey wavies and curlies, this is Stacy from the Frizz Girls. I wanted to answer a question that I had asked online. And the question was, what are your biggest hair struggles? And somebody commented whether they should cut their split ends themselves or have a stylist do it for them. My advice is it really depends on you. And what I mean by that is, do you have trust and confidence in yourself to cut your hair properly? Or are you a little bit scared and nervous and would rather pay and have a stylist cut it for you? Now, if you're going to cut it yourself, I have a few tips. Number one, you want to be able to make sure that you have a pair of cutting shears, something appropriate to cut hair. So no scissors, no fabric scissors, no kitchen shears. You want something that is made for cutting hair. So you want to check Target, Amazon, Walmart, Kroger, or even Sally Beauty Supply to see if you can buy a pair of hair scissors. You don't have to spend a lot of money. You just need a pair that is made for cutting hair. Number two, you need to decide if you're going to cut your hair wet or dry. Now, my advice is, if you're wavy, I would recommend cutting your hair wet. And if you're curly, I would recommend cutting your hair dry. Curly hair has a tendency to shrink when it's wet. And with curly hair, you need to see the pattern and the shape of your hair to know exactly where you're cutting to retain the shape that you want. So with curly hair, I would cut your hair dry. If you have wavy hair, I would recommend cutting it wet. And the reason why is your pattern isn't going to be as defined as a curly head. You're kind of in that in-between mark, and you may have a couple different wave patterns in your hair. Some of your hair patterns may be a little bit more straighter, and some may be curlier. So for wavy hair, I would recommend wetting your hair and cutting it wet to be able to get a proper cut, because if some areas of your hair are like 1B, 1C, which is slightly wavy, and some of your hair is like 2A, which has a little bit of more defined pattern, you might not be getting a consistent cut with your hair. So that's what I would recommend doing with cutting it with wet hair. Now, there's a particular styling method that I recommend that you use on wavy hair versus curly hair. Curly hair, it's going to be better for you to cut it based on the shape depending on how long your hair is. So if you have a shorter curl pattern and a shorter shape, I would cut it just as you see your hair. So look at your hair and figure out exactly where you want to cut it lengthwise here, and cut it by little clumps of hair. If you have wavy hair or longer curly hair, I'm going to recommend that you do a cut that I have done multiple times on my hair. Let me go ahead and drop a picture of it in the video. So if you look on the screen, you will see what's called a unicorn cut. Now, first I want to say, this is not my graphic. This is not my work. I do not know who owns this work. So please do not give me credit for this graphic because it is not mine. I don't know who created it. And if I did, I would give proper credit to the person that did it. But you'll notice they have a very simple drawing of a woman with wavy hair. And what you do is you bring your hair all the way up into a ponytail at the top of your head, so it looks like a unicorn that is pulling out at the top of your head. When you cut, you want to cut on an upward angle, either half an inch, an inch and a half, or 2 inches long, depending on what you want for your hair to be cut, okay? When you do that, what's going to happen is it's going to give you like a tailored V in the back, so you're going to have more of a V structure. Now, you can do this multiple times. You can do it once just to get the ends off and call it a day. You can do it twice to add more layers. You can do it 3 times to add even more layers. You can do what I've done multiple times and do a quadruple cut where you've done it 4 times. And yes, I've actually done it a 5th time where I've cut just the bangs of my hair. So you can use that to be able to cut your wavy curly hair. Once it's cut, okay, wet, then you want to style and dry it to see how your hair lays and behaves and to check the shape out, because you might find the shape is exactly what you need it to be. If it is not, I would recommend cutting it dry so that way you can see exactly how much length you're taking off and how much shape that you're getting. That should remove all your split ends off of your hair, no matter where, if they're at the top of the layer or at the bottom of the layer or somewhere in between. Now, if you have no confidence in yourself, you don't want to take the risk of botching your hair with using a pair of hair scissors, I would not recommend cutting your hair yourself. I would recommend looking for a stylist in the area where you live. You can check out Pinterest, you can check out Google, and you can check out ChatGPT may have some options for you. What I would do is I would look for a stylist in your area, look at her photo, read her bio, and ask yourself, what is your gut telling you? Go by how your gut tells you. If your gut tells you you think this is your stylist, book an appointment. If you're not sure, book a consultation appointment and go in and speak with them first, and then go back for your hair appointment. So that is what I would recommend for you when it comes to cutting your split ends. Me personally, if I'm going to cut my hair and get rid of my split ends, I'm going to wet my hair and I'm probably going to do a quadruple unicorn cut on my hair. So hopefully that tip has helped you make a decision whether you're going to cut your wavy or curly hair yourself, or if you're going to get a stylist to do it for you. If you have any more questions or comments, please drop them in below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. Have a great day. Bye.